Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. Everybody asked me what happened with yesterday's video. Well, here's the thing. The last property on the list, it said 12 minutes to the 401. And I thought, that's so funny. Not 11, not 13. So if you've ever seen the movie Something About Mary, remember in the car where he has that guy that has the body bag and he goes, not 8-minute abs, 7-minute abs, and step into my office because you're freaking fired. And I think it's a funny scene. I put that at the end of the video, and I've put other stuff before. You guys saw the ebony and ivory, and this is the first time ever that there was a copyright that was actually broken. So I guess Fox Pictures somehow recognized it. And so anyways, that's what's happening with that. So I can probably redo the video. It's going to take me, by the time I do it, the information is not even as relevant or as new as it was. So let's move to today's listings. I will not embed any video. It's just straight listings. First one up, 1487 Maple, number 111. $299 is the price. I like how they did the map here. It shows you where it actually is. So this one is 1487 Maple, which is this one right here. So fronts onto, I'd be more concerned about anything fronting onto Main Street than Maple. And the west view is nice because you've got the escarpment over to that side too. Great looking apartment inside. I love the light. I love the photography here. I think they did a great job. So it's a little bit of HDR. The design looks good. The hardwood looks terrific. And normally, I'm not a big fan of close-up shots like this because I think that you want larger, you want to give a feel for the space, but for some reason it all kind of works together. I mean, even this shot here, you've got a little bit of depth of field happening and the bedroom looks good. So very stylish. I think it presents itself very well. I think that it stays true to its roots of being a very stylish looking suite. It's a 3-bedroom, which is very rare to find here, and under $299 is partly because it's on the first floor, and some people have an aversion to that. But if this was not on the first floor, they'd be asking well over $3. So I think balancing those two off is definitely, they've done the right thing. I think they're in a great spot. Maintenance fees are about $300. Nice stuff, really good. You'll see today that pictures are either helping or hurting these guys big time. So here's another great shot of Costigan because it gives you a sense of how much green space is around. It's not in a corridor of condos, although eventually they're going to have 3 buildings, but that's a great looking shot. There's a lot of empty land close to this one and some really terrific views. This one's on the 3rd floor, unit 305. It's at 3049, and that's another great shot there. That's the money. I mean, really nothing is going to be built ahead of this. That's all protected green space, and then you have the Bruce Trail School in the distance there. So nice stuff, well presented, big master bedroom, and they've got a 2-bedroom plus a den here. So I think both of these guys within $5,000. Maple Crossing, the one previous, has a little bit more amenities, the gym, the party room, etc., etc. But when they put all 3 buildings here, they might have the same kind of thing. So that'd be something to look into. Both are great listings. Both compare very well to what else is sold. McKim Gate 328.8. It's a current model. It's 1195 square feet, and maybe not as good a picture set as the previous two, but still, you know, it's got some value. I like the upstairs on this one because there's a little nook where you could put a computer so you're not wasting a bedroom, and you also have 2 bedrooms and you also have 2 washrooms, so you could have a roommate in this kind of home. Could work well for young professionals. 328 is a little bit high for this one. I'd expect some more features inside or a little bit more size for that price. Wind Trail 339, it's a Bolton model. I've seen Bolton models sell for more than what these guys are asking for. And so you've got your kitchen, and then you have your living dining in the back of the home. Only 1 full bathroom upstairs, and that can be what holds this one back from the next model, which is the Emery, next model up from this. So August 3rd is the possession they're looking for. It's a long ways away, so this one might be looking just for a longer date. Okay, so Ferguson 372, and so it's 1,500 square feet. It's very open concept. Kitchen's a little bit plain. I can't see that wowing people, but you get the forest behind. Really, there's one listed. We mentioned it a couple days ago. 369, better looking inside, but didn't have the forest. You can change out appliances, you can do work here, you can't replace that forest in the back. So that's, again, not the best pictures, but they do their job. Same with this one on Walbrook. Now they have a little kick plate here, so that's attached to the central back. You can sweep your kitchen, throw it right into that little. You just kick the lever with your toe, and it sucks all the dust out. So that's pretty awesome. The backsplash has a bit. It's not a linear design. It's a little bit more of a pattern, and I don't even know what model this is, and that, I mean, that just shows you sometimes the pictures, like what, you got to kind of display it. It kind of looks like a lake point, but that's not usually there in the lake point. Usually the entrance is downstairs, so I'm not really sure this one, which model we're looking at. And there's no front shot, so that can sometimes be the difference. 379 depends how big it is. I just can't tell from these photos. Fasken 399, semi-detached. 3-bedroom, and it looks like you've got your kitchen plus the eat-in, and then you've got a long room here, and then the 3 rooms upstairs. Probably 1,800 square feet. The basement finished is going to help them a lot, and I think about the one just over on Racy that just got an offer on it. It really wasn't anything magic inside, and it didn't have a finished basement. It was right at $399. So these guys are probably in the right spot. Bonin, $399 on this one. It's a townhouse with a finished basement. Now, one of the things here, 2,200 square feet of living area. You look at the basement, they haven't even measured it, so they probably took this from the floor plans, didn't measure the basement. 120-foot deep lot with no neighbor behind. Why? Because there's train tracks right behind. So you're not fooling me, guys. Train tracks behind, something to pay attention to. You do hear the noise. It's like a sloping backyard. So even though it's 120, it's not flat, so you don't always get that usable space necessarily. Hadley Woods I'm real excited about. It's just on the corner of Hadley Woods and I think Fitzgerald. Very nice street. The whole street backs onto a park, and the inside looks really good. The pictures are definitely adding something special. The furniture, this is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great looking listing. California shutters, the impression, everything is there, and they're not going to last long. Very, very nice. The blue sky, I mean, you could not compose a better listing than something like this here. 405, good price, little high. I mean, I'm still not used to townhomes being up there, but this one certainly looks impressive. Van Fleet 419, Linwell End 16, I think 80 square feet, double car parking in the driveway. Kind of like there's really not much in here that's in terms of upgrades. The model itself's good. There's a second floor laundry, and then they did a finished basement too. It doesn't have the zip to it. Almost anything under 450 these days. It's surprising me how quickly they're selling. McGurn is 429. Detached home. It's 3 stories, and it doesn't have a backyard. It just has the double garage in the back with the patio above. And so when you look at this one, there's laminate floors on the 1st and 3rd floor, and then on the 2nd floor they've done real hardwood. Now, if you weren't paying that close attention, you might even think all the floors are the same, but they're not. It's a good floor plan. I just your options open up. I mean, it's probably one of the cheaper double car garages you can get, but you lose that backyard. Like, would somebody be willing to crank it up maybe 50,000 and get maybe sort of the same floor space, but having the backyard as well? Trudeau 449. It's a Pilgrim model. It's 1,740 square feet. And long living dining, that's your front door. And so you have a defined entrance, which a lot of the Madme homes don't have. It's you sort of just walk right into the home. There's your family room, kitchen. Now, I've only seen a couple Pilgrim kitchens that have done this little breakfast bar here. And if you look at how this is set up, I mean, I don't know, I guess that's like a stainless steel backsplash or something, but very clever. You do not have as much of an eat-in area in your kitchen though, so that's something. It's hard to put a table there. Bedrooms upstairs. It's a 3-bedroom. You've got a big laundry room, and then you've also got the finished basement. Nice landscaping. 521 Trudeau is probably it's on that little strip just south of the big park. So if your kids like going to the park, this is a good home for them. 449, I think, with the finished basement is very competitive. One backing onto a pond with a finished basement, and some of the features this one has just sold in the 460s. So the only difference being the pond, really. Farmstead 464.9. This is Spirit Plan 4, I think, 1835 square feet. And we've seen this model maybe with a little bit more upgrading on the floors and some granite counters, gone up in the 470s. So at 464.9, these guys shouldn't have a problem. It's a nice floor plan, and you've got your laundry upstairs on this one too. Ferguson. So now we've got a Thistle Bay model, 2237 square feet, and possibly with 2-car parking in the driveway. It's hard to tell from that angle. Upgraded counters, backsplash. You've got some hardwood floors on the main level, and I mean, let's be honest, homes that are smaller with the same features, one just sold for $500,000. This is a hot deal. This is a really good property. You've got a separate living, dining, plus family and kitchen in the back. The bedrooms are all terrific size. These guys are not going to last long at all. Very good deal. Very good floor plan on this one. Silver Court 589, and it's a bungalow with a loft. It's a Mattamy home, and we've seen the same model as this one sell for a lot less than this. So it's a little concerning how high they're listed, but this one does look better than the previous sale. I think it's more desirable, but still, I mean, the last one was kind of hovering a lot closer to the 5 than the 6 mark. So let's see what happens. Bungalows can go either way. There's not many of them, so sometimes if people really see the value, then it's basically every sale can be its own in its own little universe. Yates 599. It's a Glenwood model, just over 2,500 square feet, and although usually the 2,500 square foot one has an open area right here, so this could be the larger one, which we rarely ever see. And if it is, that's a real positive thing. The larger one, I think, is 2,800 square feet. There's your family room, upgraded floors upstairs. You've got a bit of landscaping in the back. And then you also have, now that was 3 shots of the back there. These guys have a finished basement. I haven't checked the virtual tour. Finished basement would really be good to include in those photos. If it is the bigger model, if it has a pretty decent finished basement, these guys are actually in a good spot. I originally looked at this and thought it was maybe a little higher priced, but the more I'm paying attention to some of the details, the more I'm seeing that it could be an opportunity. King Street, 629. Bungalow with a double car garage, very hard to find in Milton. It looks like you're on a 66 by 132 foot property, and inside has been renovated. And they've put appliances in. They've done all the things that, at least from my perspective, that need to be done. Let's see what happens. It's in a very desirable part of town. So let's see if somebody writes the check. Finished basement. Another thing with this one, with a bungalow, if it really is finished, there can be a lot of extra space, and that can really prop the value up. And then finally, we've got 2 listings on Dempsey right beside each other, listed the same day. So the Battle of Dempsey, and I think one stands out far more than the other one. 699. This is a 3,300 square foot home. It's called a Tothberg. Not a lot of upgrading. If somebody's writing a check for $700,000, they want to feel a little bit tickled by the kitchen. There's just not a lot of juice in here. There are some decent features here. A bit of landscaping in the back. You've got the pond behind, which is a good thing. But we're seeing this model, let's say with a finished basement, this model with some extra upgrades, selling for far less than $699. So the adjustment on the pond, you'd figure, is probably about $20,000-$25,000, maybe $30,000 tops. And so when you sort of break that back down, you'd still want to see a little bit more upgrading for the price they're asking. Now Dempsey, this one here right beside, is at $829, and at first glance you'd say, hey, it's a little bit high. This home is done up, and I've seen this home in person. The pictures I don't think can do it justice. And so I'm not hitting the photographer. I'm not slapping them. It's the kind of home that you have to see in person. It's very, very impressive. The design, the decor, everything is awesome. Separate living dining room, and then you also have a family room. You've got an eat-in kitchen. You've got laundry on the main floor, and then 5 bedrooms upstairs. Fully finished basement with a kitchen, and you can see all these cabinets are all custom done. There's a pantry. Man, it is awesome. The kitchen is very impressive, and there's the family room. So it looks like there's a lot of stuff in it. You don't necessarily have that impression when you go. So you've got the pond behind, same as the one next door. You are 2 doors down from James Snow, so you do hear a bit of road noise, but you will not find a better looking home anywhere for sale. This is the hot one here. So Dempsey, very, very nice. And when you combine the amount of space finished, actually I don't think they're that far off in the price. So let's see what happens. And that's the list for today, and that's the list for the week, and actually for the month of March too. So I think the next time we chat will be in April. If you want to come to town this weekend, if you want to come to Milton, let us know, and we'll try and be available for you and to answer your questions, to keep you safe, and to really make sure you're doing things with a plan and doing things right. So have a great weekend, and thank you for watching Milton Daily Homes.